Mr. Speaker, I would also like to join my colleagues on this side of the House to commend this 2024 budget, which was so eloquently presented by the Honorable Dr. Ashni Kumar Singh, Senior Government Minister with responsibility for finance. Special recognition is also given to the dedicated staff of the Ministry of Finance who participated in the preparation of this budget. Mr. Speaker, this future securing budget is replete with measures that are designed to further increase the benefits derived by all citizens and residents of this dear land of ours over the last 3 years. This 2024 budget is staying the course along which the building of prosperity for all is optimum. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Member, Mr. Ramjatan, posited that this budget has nothing for the poor, especially when they have to feed themselves. But, sir, if the Honorable Member had taken the time to read this budget, he would have seen that every citizen will be benefited from the transformation earmarked in this budget through the increased through the increased allocations to the Ministry of Agriculture. Mr. Speaker, our citizens are already benefiting from investments made last year in facilitating the cultivation and the production of corn and soya. An investment, Mr. Speaker, that was frowned upon by members of the opposition. Mr. Speaker, owing to the bountiful harvest of the aforementioned, the cost of livestock feed was diminished significantly earlier this month, thus resulting in the reduction in the price of eggs, chicken, mutton, and pork as a result of the reduction in livestock feed. And Mr. Speaker, this was a welcomed investment. And the very persons who the honorable member spoke about, the poor, and as he said, the working poor, they are the ones who have benefited and will continue to benefit. Because I can assure you that in the next few months, as I was informed by one of the major producers of the corn and soya, that we can expect even more reductions in the price of stock feed. Mr. Speaker, as he did last year, once again, the honorable member, Mr. Ramjatan, was critical of this year's unparalleled investment in infrastructure development. The truth is, though, Mr. Speaker, that the words infrastructure investment causes shivers down the spine of the honorable members of the opposite side. The honorable member also alleged that these investments only benefited large contractors who, he said, made 20% profits on each contract. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, firstly, sir, it is scientifically proven that investments in infrastructure not only boosts the economy in the short term, but also sets the foundation for long-term economic growth. It also facilitates the creation of jobs in various sectors, principally in construction and the engineering industries. Sir, access to reliable transportation, clean water, and electricity are essential for a healthy and functioning society. By investing in infrastructure, this government is ensuring that our citizens have access to these basic necessities, leading to a better quality of life for all. Secondly, sir, the majority of the thousands of roads, drains, and bridges that are built and will continue to be built in small communities, such as villages on the East Coast, the East Bank, in Kitty, Camberville, All Boys Town, also community structures in Region 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. But significantly, Mr. Speaker, these structures were and will continue to be built by small contractors whose workers predominantly hail from the very catchment areas, and not by large contractors, as intimated by the honorable member. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member, Miss Alert, when she spoke a short while ago, she mentioned the case of a patient who was admitted to the West Demerara Hospital. And I repeat, admitted to the West Demerara Hospital on Friday and was not seen by a doctor by Sunday, and that patient died on Sunday. Firstly, sir, I would like to advise the honorable member to please, and not only that honorable member, I would like to advise all honorary members of this House to please verify facts when they are reporting it here. The word admitted that I repeated a short while ago means that for a patient to be admitted to a hospital, they must have seen a doctor. So it is very unusual for her to say that the patient was not seen by a doctor. No other person, neither a nurse, a porter, uh, uh, no one can admit a patient to a ward without, only a doctor can do that. Mr. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, let me say that the health sector, and we have just heard Dr. Barry Ramsaran telling us all about how many hospitals were built and health centers and all the rest of it. The health sector has been one of the major sectors that this government has been investing heavily into, and one of the sectors that has seen enormous growth and improvement over the years under the tutelage and administration of the PPPC government. Mr. Speaker, I must say that once again this year, we heard Another member of the opposition, this time, it wasn't last year, it was from another member, who reported that there is this mysterious United Nations report that they're reporting a 4% malnutrition rate among children in Guyana. Mr. Speaker, I tried to explain last year, probably I wasn't that clear, but I would like to urge the persons who are reading or seeing that article and reporting a 4% malnutrition. Maybe let me say again, for the benefit of those members and probably others who are listening to me, malnutrition does not mean lack of food alone. Malnutrition means either lack of or too much. And I dare say that this problem we are having, and I think they should not only look at the heading of that article, they should read the article. We are having an issue of obesity or overnutrition in our children in Guyana. And for that reason, the Ministry of Health has been employing additional staff that are categorized as nutritionists. And because it is a health issue, we feel that when we have fat babies, nice fat babies, that everything is well, but it is a form of malnutrition, but not the type of malnutrition that the honorable member, the Honorable Vincent Henry, was trying to portray to us. Because before saying that, he said there is a lack of food in the interior, in the Amerindian communities, when he mentioned about the 4% malnutrition, which means he was trying to say that because they don't have food, they're malnourished. Mr. Speaker, I am sure there is no one, I wonder if there's anyone in this house. No, there are. Dr. Ramsaran and Dr. Anthony might remember the days when in this country the malnutrition was so severe that there actually existed a ward for children called the malnutrition ward. And that is where we saw what we see on the videos. That is what we were seeing here, malnutrition. And it actually went further than our children. We had something called beriberi, which was prevalent in mostly the prisons. And that was a form of malnutrition too. But thanks to the involvement and the investment from the PPPC governments when they took over in 1992, we saw it diminishing, and actually it was abolished. That ward, the malnutrition ward, was abolished, and we then opened the pediatric surgery and medical wards. And to this day, I do not want to say that there is no case of real undernourishment and malnutrition, because there's some other conditions that may cause children to look like that. But I would want to put my head on the block that the honorable member, Mr. Vincent Henry, misinterpreted that article or was trying to mislead us in this house and the public. Exactly. We started programs of giving something, I don't know, you might have heard about the sprinkles, which were multivitamins and other. minerals. So we started those programs. We started another program where we actually gave mothers at the clinics milk and porridge stuff for their babies and for themselves too. We didn't only give nourishment to the children, we gave to the mothers because we were encouraging them to to breastfeed the mothers. So, sir, we have invested heavily in the health sector. And the honorable member, the honorable minister, um, Frank Anthony, will tell you all about what is here in the budget when he speaks, because we still have lots of those programs and improved such programs in our budget as it is now. Mr. Speaker, while on health, our immunization program is second to none in this hemisphere. Second to none, sir. I, some time back, ever so often when you open the newspapers, you would always see, you could have put your head on a block, you're going to see maternal deaths, 1, 2, 3. That is something that it will never be abolished. In no part of the world will it be abolished, but has significantly improved because our conditions have improved, our level of training, and I recall, I don't want to misquote anyone, I really can't recall which of the honorable members on the other side spoke about training persons. Why do we train people when we cannot keep them? Because we don't give them enough salaries. But, Mr. Speaker, training persons are they're not only for the government use. We train persons and we will continue training persons, and we have had over 20 scholarships offered, 200, sorry, scholarships offered, and under the management of the former minister of the public service, we have had lots of training programs. We will continue with those training programs. Our aim is to make our people marketable. Our aim is to make our people be qualified enough to work in any part of this world, not only
Honorable
in
member,
Guyana.
my aim is to get you to conclude, and you have to do that in 5 minutes, which the
Yes,
Honorable
sir.
member, Ms. Parag, will move.
Yes, sir. No problem.
May the honorable member please have 5 minutes to conclude, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister
Thank
Parag.
you.
Honorable Dr. Westford, you may continue to conclude.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, this government, we have stayed the course. Mr. Speaker, we are not going to be deterred by persons saying, yes, you're spending monies, but we need to see value for the money. We are getting our value for the monies that we're spending, sir. We are assured that our people are benefiting. Mr. Speaker, if you go out there on the street and you stop the average person, they will tell you that they have been benefiting. They have been. Everyone, they will have their own expectations. Some people will say they want a donkey cart, others will say they want a car, others will say they want a helicopter. We all have different expectations, but basically all of our citizens are benefiting, and our aim, sir, is to ensure that every single Guyanese man, child, woman, and I dare say all, all citizens as well as residents. Because once you're living in Guyana, you will benefit from the goodies and the good developmental issues that we are offering in this country. Mr. Speaker, we will stay the course. We will continue our advancement. And I want to urge my friends, my colleagues on the opposite side of this House, that we know that you're in the opposition, and we know it's going to be difficult for you to say, oh, this is a good budget. You may not like everything in the budget, but please don't bury your head in the sand. And even if you don't want to say it here, please acknowledge to yourself, because you know that there are good things in this budget, and you yourself and your friends and your family and more so your constituents are benefiting and will continue to benefit from the policies and the investments of this PPPC government. And we urge you to work with us. And those of you who would like to join us, you're welcomed. And please, please, help us to sell this budget and to show the people out there that there are lots of good things that this government is doing. We know it's politics, but don't bury your head in the sand, because it may be left there and you don't want it to be left there. My friend behind me is saying, don't be an ostrich, because you might be, you might be caught and plucked and cooked. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, in saying so, I would like to join with my other colleagues and recommend this budget to the House for passage, and to all of us, let us, I'm the last speaker, let us have a safe journey home, and let us come fresh tomorrow, renewed for more contributions and better contributions from our friends on the opposite side. Wonderful. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member Dr. Jennifer